Yes, welcome to the chemistry class for today. We are going to look at some of the reaction of a compound of iron 2 ion. Any compound that contains iron 2 ion, we are going to look at its reaction with the sodium hydroxide. Now, in my test tube here, I have a solution of iron 2 ion. But when you look at the color, the iron 2 ion is supposed to be green. A solution is supposed to be green, because even a crystal of iron 2 ion is green in color. Then when you look at my solution, it is brown, almost like iron 3. But we all know that iron 2 ion can be oxidized when exposed to air. When you expose the iron 2 to air, it can be oxidized to iron 3, which the color will be brown. So the iron 2 ion solution, which is supposed to be green, will automatically be converted to a brown solution. That means that it has been oxidized to iron 3. But this can only be confirmed when we use some of the reagents. We're going to use the sodium hydroxide at this time to find out whether this one is iron 2 ion. But what could be the reaction of iron 2 ion with the sodium hydroxide? The iron 2 ion, when reacted with the sodium hydroxide, it forms a green precipitate on dropwise addition. However much you add the sodium hydroxide until in excess, the green precipitate will not disappear, meaning that the green precipitate will be insoluble in the sodium hydroxide. So that is as a result of the formation of iron 2 hydroxide solution. It is insoluble and therefore it remains as a green precipitate. Let us take a look at the reaction. I'm dividing this solution into several parts. I have this one. This is a sample which I'm going to use with the sodium hydroxide solution. Now this is my sodium hydroxide solution. I have the sodium hydroxide solution. Now the iron 2 ion, we said if it reacts with the sodium hydroxide solution, it has to form a dirty green precipitate. And this dirty green precipitate is insoluble in sodium hydroxide. It remains as a precipitate. Now let us take a look at the reaction. I have this one. So if you look at this color well, it is a green. This is a green precipitate. And when I add sodium hydroxide until in excess, the green precipitate does not dissolve. I'm adding the sodium hydroxide. So even if I add the green, that is sodium hydroxide, dropwise until in excess to the green precipitate, it remains. Now this dirty green precipitate, which has been formed as a result of the reaction of the sample with the sodium hydroxide, indicates that this is the iron 2 ion, giving out a green precipitate. So this is all about the reaction of iron 2 ion solution with the sodium hydroxide solution, meaning that a compound that contains iron 2 ion, it reacts with the sodium hydroxide to form a dirty green precipitate. This dirty green precipitate does not dissolve in sodium hydroxide, it remains as a precipitate. However much you put which quantity of the sodium hydroxide, the solution remains a precipitate and it remains as a green precipitate. Thank you.